everybody know that we have met in Momentum. And I kind of want to start with like what your experience and thought was from that experience.
It's quite interesting. I did with my department, we did something called resiliency.
Hmm.
We go through a lot in our days, and sometimes some folks can't recover. So teach you how to be resilient. And I think what Momentum did was pick up where we left off at. And it kind of forces you to take a good look into your past, how it molds your current decisions, and why some folks are stuck in a current position instead of moving forward. And it forces you to really take a good look in the mirror and figure out how to break through these barriers and live your best life and be the person that you're meant to be
Hmm.
without any anchors or any obstacles keeping you back. I think one of the things that really piqued me is that I like the format where folks get to see that it's not just you. Other
Mm,
people are
yeah,
suffering. Other
yeah.
people are going through things. Everybody has a story and everybody has a history that currently has them to where they are now. And it gives folks a peek into other people's windows to understand that,
Yes.
look, you're not suffering alone. There's other folks that are going through stuff, and you could build strength through each other's story.
Hmm. I totally agree. And
Round out, let's let everybody know about our inspirational
yup,
journal.
yeah. Yay. Like
So
finally
excited.
getting back to me, my art. All I want to do is art. And the other thing is that I love stories. So like to me, art is in everything. Your art is your voice, your speaking, your connection. You can feel everyone's energy. That's your art. It's the art of living to me. So art and hustle to me is the art of living and art of it and everything.
I hope that you cut that piece right there and make it your intro and your outro because that was dope.
Can you introduce yourself? So welcome today on this really cold New York frigid winter. So tell us a little bit about you and where you're at.
Well, my name is Andre. I currently live in Atlanta. I'm from New York, really from the Bronx. So I'm very familiar with New York winters. Went to Cardinal Hayes High School in
Hmm.
the Bronx,
Hmm.
149th Street Grand Concourse.
Yeah.
Uh, Went to college, went to Western New England College, which is now Western New England University. Transferred from there to Virginia State University, where I completed my education.
Hmm. That's great. And your career, what took you to your career paths along the way after college?
That's a quite interesting story. So kind of come from a law enforcement family. My sister worked, NYPD and corrections. She worked at Rikers. And as a teen, I was a classic New York teen. I was a thug. I was out in the streets. Um, I used to call myself an intelligent hoodlum. I was very intelligent, very smart, but I liked at the time the b-boy feel, just being in the streets, being that thug dude.
Mhm.
Um, but then after college, uh, I wanted to do something different. I thought I was gonna go into psychology because that was my major. But normally we don't go to, actually get into the professions that we go to school for.
Exactly. That's what I'm seeing in all of my podcasts. I always ask people, what did you want to be as a kid? And what did you think you wanted to do? And they never end up that profession.
So I wanted to be an architect, but hey,
Yeah.
but every job I had, so I worked. Tell them when I moved to Atlanta, because my game plan after college was to live in DC and then do see DC for a little bit, then move to Atlanta. So I just eliminated the middleman. End up getting a job at Delta Airlines, and then from Delta Airlines to Department of Homeland Security, went to the feds.
Mhm.
I never wanted to get into law enforcement, but law enforcement kind of grabbed me. So
Yeah.
I wanted to do something different within the federal government. So I was told that, hey, if you go to local law enforcement, um, and come back, you'll come in at a higher G scale. It's like, cool. Go into the police department. I'm there for a year and a half. I'm like, all right, I need to leave. So before I age out, which means that, you have an age limit before you have to be a certain age before you can, the end of the application date, or you won't be accepted. Even though I had prior federal experience.
Yeah. What's the age out?
36.
Okay.
So year and a half in, they had a hiring freeze that lasted 3 years.
Wow.
And I aged out. But I was snake bitten by law enforcement because I kind of took to it. It became a passion.
Yeah.
I saw the good behind it, even though as a kid, I didn't have the best relationship with law enforcement. And I never wanted another person to experience what I experienced. So I figured that the best way to make a change is from the inside. And then you see a lot, and it takes a while before, you understand the actual true power that you have. You have a power of change, and then you have a power of, I wouldn't say complacency, but you go along, the group I was with, we're pretty steadfast with understanding what our jobs were and making the best impact on the communities that we patrolled. So I was a patrol officer. I did several specialized units on robbery task force, burglary task force. Then I went into undercover narcotics. Then I went to gang. I was a gang detective.
Wow.
Then I went homicide, and I did armed robbery.
Wow.
So
I feel like you're gonna have a shitload of stories from all of that.
I do. So right now I'm a sexual assault, domestic violence investigator with the district attorney's office here in Georgia, where I primarily deal with sexual assaults, domestic violence cases, domestic related homicides, homicide related sexual assaults. So I see a lot, and it kind of changes my perspective on things, on how the world really works and how the decisions we make puts us in the situations that we're in.
Yeah. So it's all choices.
Correct.
Choices. Because a lot of people like to blame everybody else for all of their life issues and, well, they did this to me, so I'm going to do this. It's all like justified, I feel like, a lot these days. So if people actually were more present and be like, well, what were my choices? Like, what can I do in this situation? I think would help people more.
I think a lot of times folks want to be more right.
Yes.
And, they want to win, not understanding that a lot of times walking away is winning.
Yes.
Yes. But sometimes
that's exactly I think I just scrolled upon something, I think on Facebook today, where it literally is talking about this gang member. And, like, that's the problem. Everybody wants to be right. Relationships, life, work, gangs, or whatever. Everyone just wants to be right. But if you actually come into the table like, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. And then the other person will put their guard down, be like, you know what, I'm sorry too. So if we, took those guards down, I think would help also a lot of people.
I think a lot of times being really self-aware, just understanding the situation and the dynamics, whether it's dating, whether you're marriage or friend relationships, just understanding, if you get into a heated discussion, sometimes we are like, remember I had, I'm not really fond of getting into emotional arguments where you so passionate about what you believe that you're not listening what the other person says.
Yes.
And it tends to get a little juvenile after a while. La 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 la. What I'm saying, like, no. Yeah. If we're having an adult conversation, understand the point that I'm making. And it goes into same thing with relationships. Sometimes where you're so steadfast on what you believe, you're not listening to what the other person is saying.
Yeah, because you kind of put this like blinder on of like, no, I feel this way, and let me force my feelings into the situation. And then you just like, no, this is how I feel, and nothing else matters, right? And a lot of women are like that.
I have a saying where I, on one of my friends' channels, I say, folks are comfortable in their ignorance. They wear it like a cloak, like Linus with his security blanket.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss.
Correct. But when you impart facts into it and you back it up by not only experience but data, statistics, a lot of folks, when they look at this, they're instantly triggered.
Yes.
Because damn, you're talking about me, and now I hit dog or holler.
Yeah.
And then you start, I'm not into the whole red pill thing, but, I do see with sign language, shame, insult need to be right, where you start to get shamed, did you not like your mother? Did your mother not like you? The insults, well, you're this, you're that, and then guilt, when you start getting into it, you're pretty much letting the next person know, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
But then that need to be right comes in where you see blood and then you go straight for it instead of taking a step back, like, hold on a second. We're starting off wrong. This is going to, the wrong direction.
Yeah.
I'm not here to accuse you, punish you, or berate you. I'm here to come with a solution to how you can change.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, I did a podcast a while ago in reference to, are the genders naturally insane, living in a life of insanity, doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. And when you date the same person over and over, same may look different, maybe different height, different sizes, but they have the same personalities, and you get
same person, just in different bodysuit.
And you're getting the same outcomes. You want to blame everybody else and not understanding that you are the common denominator.
No, you're the red flag.
Correct.
That was another thing that I read today too. It's like you might need to think like you're the red flag instead of blaming everybody else. Who's the common denominator in this situation? You. So look at yourself, work on yourself.
When you start hearing women say, "Oh, men are trash," or men saying, "Oh, women are this and that," like, who are you choosing? Who are you dealing with? You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. A lot of times we as a community of human beings not understanding, like, because I'm newly single. So someone's like, well, the dating pool is trash. I said, well, how about you just change the pool?
Yeah.
Swimming in the same, look, I like swimming in clear water. I don't smell the chlorine, but I know the chlorine is there. But you want to swim in the swamp because the folks that swim in the swamp look good, but they don't necessarily have any true security. So
they're in the swamp. So what's inside that? What's inside them?
Correct. But we don't look at character. And that's one of the things I learned a lot about my job is to really focus on the character of the person. Because you always want to meet that dude that's 6 foot, buff, 6-pack, making money, but he's an asshole. And you'll meet that woman who has won the genetic Olympics, perfect size breasts, nice body, good figure, but it's about as dumb as a box of rocks and makes bad decisions. Yep. What's important to you?
Yeah, what is important to you? What are your values? What are your morals? And what's, character?
Correct. It's so much, it's so much going on. And with my job, I get to see below the surface what's really going on. And a lot of times where folks form opinions, we trauma bond, a lot of us. Never experienced half the stuff that we complain about, but because somebody we know went through it and we get half the story, we fill in the blanks for what we don't understand and create our own narrative.
Yeah, it's your perception of it, your perspective of it as well.
Right. Yep. And that's the thing. So the reason, it's like, oh, I don't want to get married because marriage is going to end, this, and this. Well, no, that's not necessary. It's what you put in.
Yep.
Both parties have to work, you know what I'm saying? They both have to put 100% in, and you get what you want out. Like, what was your reason for getting married? Why did you want to be in a relationship? Did you do it because your friends were getting married and you didn't want to be left alone? Or were you actually looking at the ability to, cement your legacy, your security? You want to be protected. You want to be under the covering of somebody. So when you get 65 and you can't work, you are protected. You're financially stable. And, but a lot of times we, as a community, we're short-sighted. We think about right here, right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to ball out. I'm going to do this. And here it is, you 65 and nobody wants to hire you because you're too old and you only got, you're a Walmart greeter making $7 an hour and you got medication you have to pay for. We got to be more diligent in solidifying our future.
Yeah, completely. Now, out of all of those like amazing positions that you had, which ones stand out, or which one was like the hardest one?
Ooh, probably when I was, two of them. When I was doing armed robbery investigations and gang homicide investigations, because I was on call, and waking up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning after already working a 10-hour shift. And when you're working a homicide investigation, you don't go home. Like if you leave at 2 o'clock in the morning, you might come back home 8 o'clock 2 days later.
2 days later?
Yes. So
Wow.
I give you one. It was Mother's Day. My daughter was probably like 9 months old, and my then wife, this was her first Mother's Day. I had everything planned. I was going to cook. I was going to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
I get a call on Sunday telling me that I'm reassigned to the homicide to work a gang case.
Reassigned already, just
Right.
instant.
Just reassigned. Hey, you need to report to homicide by 2 o'clock today. I'm like, bro, it's Mother's Day. Hey, I said, you're gonna have to, you don't have to tell the lady what's going on.
Yeah.
So I left Sunday at 2 o'clock. I didn't come back to the house till Tuesday, 6 a.m.
Wow.
And then I was gone. I was home for about 3-4 hours and I was back. So you have no life,
Wow.
and then you got to think about the human brain. It's like a sponge. There are things that you're not that is not designed to see. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
and
saying?
it sounds like you've seen a lot.
I've seen a whole lot. I know what it sounds like when someone takes their last breath. I
Yeah.
know what it looks like. So you're exposed to a lot. And what you try to do is not to bring that home, but you don't really understand what it does to you till later on as you get older, when you don't have, when I left the police department to go to the DA's office, I didn't have that constant information or flooded information that I could compartmentalize. So when you don't have new information to put in there, all the old ones come forward.
Oh, yes.
And
That's amazing. That's a tip right there.
Right. So if you don't know how to deal with it, that's why some folks have anxiety attacks and stuff like that, because the rush of information, because half the time you forget what you forgot until it comes back in front of you.
Yeah, like if you're not getting constant fed all that new information. Yeah, that's what happened to me I think that's probably what happened to a lot of people during COVID. Because now you're not working full time, you're not doing this, you're not busy constantly with everything. So yeah, during that time, like all of my trauma and childhood, all of it started flooding in. So that's totally true.
Correct. And then you also have to take into account, like, each position different between genders. So I was fortunate that because of my field, we never stopped. So I had consistent, work. So I worked from home because we weren't allowed in the office, but I was still working. But think about a man who has a family who pretty much pays all the bills, the anxiety and the stress trying to figure out, watching their savings dwindle as they pay these bills because it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It's different when you have an apartment and a mortgage.
Yeah.
It's that bank owns it. Hey, you can work with your your leasing manager in reference to and understanding what's going on. But when it comes down to mortgage, sometimes banks don't care. Like,
Banks don't
money.
care. No, they're like, you're late. Let's, foreclosure right now.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at that, there was a lot of anxiety, folks that was used to working, folks that was, even if they was in that art field or that acting, you paint a picture, you had a boutique, you closed down because folks couldn't come in because you couldn't socially distance.
Yeah. No one wants any of those extra fringe benefits. Like, those are not needed. Like, fashion was not needed. I got let go. I was in the field for like 23 years in fashion,
Right.
So once you don't have that, position anymore, you're like, oh my God, like, was I even happy? Do I even want to do this? No. So what am I going to do with my life now? So it's all been a beautiful unpacking, and, the podcasts of listening to all of these stories, I feel like have to get out, because I realize, like, there's giants among all of us. And why listen to all these podcasts with all of these celebrities? Why can't I talk to the friend I met, the person from the art show, the person I met at Momentum? I feel like everybody's just as big as all these other people who had life experiences to drop those gems and tips and tricks for everybody.
I agree. See, here's the thing. We idolize a lot of celebrities, not understanding that they have the same stories we do. Just
They're all
because
human,
right, just because they make more money and they're in the public eye. Like, I know a lot of celebrities, and sitting down and having conversations with them, and it's like, there's really no difference between you and I, except that you're way more exposed. And a lot of times they really will want the life that you have, because you still maintain a level of your privacy, which they forfeited for the fame and the notoriety.
Exactly.
And so it's a lot. And a lot of times, once you pull the veil from behind what's really going on and it clicks, you understand that one is you're the most important person you know, and you have to take care of you. You can't live your life vicariously through folks that, you know, will gladly trade lives with you.
Yeah.
And we don't understand it. You got to put it in perspective.
Mhm.
You know, you have folks out there like TikTok and Snapchat that want the likes and the notoriety and the clicks and the clout. And then when they get it, they don't understand that the littlest hiccup, one mistake they make can ruin everything that they've created.
Yes, totally, totally. Because if you didn't come into it with yourself fully intact, everything is just gonna exemplify all of your flaws and all your insecurities, and your confidence is gonna go completely down.
Correct. And that's the thing. It's like, are this true admiration or is it artificial?
All of it's artificial.
Right. You
You
know,
you don't need any of that.
seeking validation from folks that you don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. It's like, when I was younger, you know, my sister used to have a saying, and she heard it, and then I heard it, and I adopted it. You know, so it's like, if it doesn't fuck me, feed me, or finance me, I don't care.
Love it. If it doesn't fuck me, feed me, or finance me, I don't care. I love
Right.
it. I love
Yeah,
it.
thank you. Why do I care if it's not putting money in my pocket?
You're not helping. How are you helping me in any of my life here, right?
Correct. You know, and it's like I read a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
I love that book. I love that book.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we give so much energy to
We give so much
inanimate things.
fucks about
Right.
all this other shit.
Like, you know, in my office, we have a saying, it's like, your urgency is not my urgency.
I love that. Yes.
Because you were not prepared and you didn't do things the right way.
Mhm.
It's not for me to stress. You can't
It's
stress
not
me
my
out.
problem. That's your problem.
Correct.
Mhm.
You know, because I teach stress management
Mhm.
to, you know, I also have a side business. I do consulting, and I teach stress management. And I teach folks how to, one, prioritize themselves,
Mhm.
you know, because it's a difference. Like, I'm big into interdependency. I don't deal with independence. I don't deal with codependence. I deal with interdependence.
Mhm.
That means that you are secure within yourself. You built strength, you know, where you can still add a little bit from if you're married, like, hey, look, I got to make sure I'm right so I can take care of you. I
Mhm.
need you to be right so you can take care of me. And together we can take care of whatever we created.
Yeah, there needs to be a balance of like reciprocal energy.
Correct. And not understanding that, you know, like, men need affection and admiration.
Yep.
You need to let them know, because women have to understand that they have a power. Because right now, if I'm hearing, it's like a lot of women have a problem hearing, like, what do you bring to a table? You know, and the worst thing
Oh, they have a problem when men say that?
yeah, that's what I mean. I heard, like, why do you know what I'll bring? I am the table. Like, no, you're not.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
I totally don't believe any of that. No, I feel
yeah.
like we should all come to the table 100. I'm going to be 100 with what I bring to the table, and you need to come to 100. Don't come to the table thinking you're just a bag, because I don't mean, I don't want to be crass, but just because you have a pussy that you are it. No, we all got one, and just because you think that yours is amazing, don't mean nothing in the situation.
See, and inherently, like, well, I can't even say good men, bad men. Men in all will run through a brick wall for a good woman that understands how to bring value to their life, which means, like, when he comes home, you're happy to see him. You do things that's unconsciously in you to do.
Yeah.
You know, for the most part, men want to be appreciated. Women want to be secure. They don't want to have to worry about if something happens to you that they're not taken care of.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to understand that if a man tell you not to do something, it's not to control you, it's to keep you
Safe.
from, you know, keep you safe and keep you from making mistakes that you later have to, you know, apologize for. You know, I told my daughter, like, look, don't do anything that you need the police or me to get you out of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
How
it's
old is
like,
she?
she's 21. She'll be 22 in March.
Oh my God. And do you have how many kids do you have?
I have two. I have a 10-year-old that's doing her digital learning.
Mhm.
And I have her.
Mhm.
So um I'm teaching them, one, the value of a man's place. My boys are like, you know, you spoiling your daughters. They're not gonna date just any dude. I'm like, I'm not. Like, there are things that I require as a residing father.
Mhm.
You must know how to cook. I'm teaching you how to cook.
Mhm.
All right. But it's not your sole responsibility to be the sole cook in the house.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, who's to say you're gonna get married tomorrow? But you know how, you need to know how to sustain yourself.
Yeah.
So you need to know how to cook. You need to know how to change a light bulb, change the battery in the smoke detector,
Yeah.
check your oil. These are things you need to know how to do. It's not being in your feminine nature. It's just an understanding so you don't take advantage of, because
Yeah.
when you are ignorant to things, folks will take advantage of.
Yeah, you need to know the fundamentals to be self-sufficient.
Correct. But you don't bring that into a relationship.
Mhm.
You just like, hey, I have knowledge of this. Because at the end of the day, most women don't want to change their own oil.
No,
But
like I know how to do a lot of things, like all the things that you said, the handyman stuff that a lot of men these days can't do, but I don't want to do those things, And I think I got into a position where it's like, yo, I'm tired. Like, I don't want to do all those things. Like, I can do it, but like sometimes I'll ask a friend, like, hey, can you do that? They're like, and they'll just kind of look at me like, well, you know how to do, so why do you want me to do it? I'm like, because sometimes I don't want to be that, masculinity of all those things. Like, I want to stay in my feminine area.
and that's the thing. Like, I like doing, like, look, my father was like, look, I'm gonna teach you how to cook. I've been cooking since I was 7.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm gonna teach you how to cook so you don't have to depend on a woman for food. You know what I'm saying? So in case you are in a relationship and she decides she don't want to cook for you, you cook your own meals.
Yeah.
Or if you get in a functional relationship, you can share the duties. So I can do gardening. I build. I built a gazebo in my old house.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to carpentry. I do gardening. I can clean. I like wash. I like doing laundry. So there are things that I know on the domestic side that I have to do, as because I lived by myself for a while. You know what I'm saying? I'm still living by myself now, other than when my daughter comes over. So there are things that I had to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't expect somebody to take those duties over for me. I just expect it like, hey, we could be at work together.
Share.
We can share. You can share the duties, so you're not stressed and think that you have to do everything. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's like it's still gender roles, because if I don't care how much money I make, I don't care how much money you make, or we put our money together, we're richer than we were before we came into this relationship.
Yeah.
I'm very good with money. My then wife wasn't. I had to teach her how to save. I got to teach her not to, spend money on frivolous things, have an understanding. But there got some dudes out there that's horrible with money.
Yeah.
And will give the entire check to their wives because they're better with money.
Yeah. No, I don't believe in that either. Like, you're giving all of it away to
All
somebody
that power.
else.
Right. And it's
I
like,
didn't want to say power, but that's how I felt. Like, you're giving your power away to somebody else to handle that. Like, do you really, really trust them fully with all of your money?
Right. Especially if they're not working.
Yeah.
So you have to know who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And you just have to come with your genuine self. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, when it comes down to it, the dynamics is we get so much, I didn't grow up with the internet. I grew up in the 70s before we had all this. So social media wasn't there. We had maybe Black Planet and MySpace and whatnot, or the party lines. But at the end of the day, we still had to leave the house to meet folks. Right now it's
And how old are you?
49. Yep, 49. I'll be 50 this year.
Okay. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know. I don't look
50, the big 50. You're gonna have a giant party?
I am. I am. And then I'm right now trying to figure out where I'm gonna fly to. I went to Costa Rica last year for my birthday. I did a solo trip. So I do at least one solo trip a year just to refill my tank.
Yeah, decompress.
And then I'm teaching folks how to do that. Like, I go to movies by myself. I go to a restaurant by myself, and I go on trips by myself. Yeah. Because I feel if I can't be alone with myself, I can't expect anybody else to want to be alone with me.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing that people all should try to learn to do, is to do all those things by themselves. That's something I had to learn as well. Like, I didn't like to do all of those things alone. And I started realizing when I started to have to be alone, like, I wasn't happy.
See, the problem is we get so used to drawing energy and validation from our friends that we stop looking inside of us and understanding where our place is into certain relationships, what our value are to our friends. And you have to be able to understand your own personal insecurities, and sometimes you have to break that wall. Like I'm an extrovert. I have some introverted days where I just want to be by myself, don't want to be bothered with people. But at the end of the day, wherever I go, I never met a person I didn't know. And I feel comfort in folks, but I can go any place by myself and feel comfortable because I'm secure within me. I like who I am. I like me, and I know the value I can bring to a conversation because I know who I am.
Yeah.
The problem is a lot of times people don't know who they are and what they want and what they expect and what they need. And it's scary when you walk into a situation and you don't know anything about yourself.
Yeah, and a lot of people want the other partner or friend to like fix them.
Right.
Like, you need to do this for me and you didn't do this for me, so I'm not happy with you. And they constantly want that constant, you need to fix these. All of my issues, you should fix them.
Oh, yeah, that's not our job. My job is not to make you happy.
Yeah, exactly. Like Will Smith said to, Jada, like, no, I give up. Like, you need to figure it out how figure it out. If you can be happy, like, go ahead. I give up that job to try to make you happy. Like, you have to figure it out.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, before I met you, you had your life. Now, there are some things that change once you get into a relationship because you don't want anything to disrupt that.
Yep.
I'm not asking you to get rid of your friends, but if your friends can't respect what we have, then they're not your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have friends that don't support you, but always calling upon you needing something, but they can't be there for you when you need them, then they're not your friends.
They're not your friends. They're just using you.
But a lot of times we're afraid to let them go because we don't want to be by ourselves.
You don't want to be alone. There's that alone part again. If you don't like to be alone by yourself and your thoughts and your actions, like me, I used to be busy finishing and doing the checklist of things I needed to, achieve. And I was always busy doing things, but for myself, but it wasn't really for myself fully, because it was always like, I need to make enough money. I need to have the job, have to do this, but it was just a lot of busy stuff to do all the things that I thought I needed to do, but it wasn't fulfilling my own tank. So like now it's my journey to fill my own tank and fill my own cup. And someone said before on another podcast, it's like, no, only give from your saucer. Make sure that your cup is full and overflowing, and only give from your saucer.
Yep. Don't give anything to anybody that you need back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me, it's like, I had to tell somebody, like, look, and then I talked about it in Momentum, like, look, I am not a nice guy. Not at all. I'm a bit of an asshole, but I'm a kind person. I do things for you because I want to, and I don't expect anything back. If I know that, damn, I know Linda like this, let me go ahead and get this for her because I know she'll appreciate it. I get it. I don't want anything back. Maybe a thank you, but that's it. Yeah. There's no expectations. But a lot of times when you deal with nice folks, they're only doing it because they want to call in that favor when they need you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so disingenuous.
Yep.
That's why, you have a lot of dudes that have a problem with the saying, nice guys finish last, but they do because they're disingenuous with their intentions.
Yeah. 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 What you're doing it because you want something in return, and then you get mad that you didn't get it back. Like, no, you should do it out of the kindness of your heart and nothing in return.
Because like if I take you out to dinner and we spend $200 something, I'm looking at it, I ate a meal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, you enjoyed yourself, you had a good time, you had a laugh, you had drinks, like it was worth the money.
Oh, cool. Have a good one. Yeah. I'm not expecting you to, see, here's the thing, and this is where it comes down to. It is, what is the purpose of the dinner? Are we just two folks going out to dinner and enjoying each other's company and we part our ways? Or do you feel the only way you can, reciprocate what I did for you was to bring me back to your apartment? Now, if we ain't vibing like that, that is not necessarily what I want. Shit, I got 2 kids. You know what I'm saying? Been there, done that.
You get that from women?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So do they literally feel like just because you took them out for a $200 dinner that now they going to take you back to pay back?
They automatically think that's what I'm looking for.
Oh, okay. They think that that's what you want.
Right. And it's like, nah. If we're vibing, the conversation goes in there and it goes past this, it starts getting, on a certain level, I can wait. Because if it's, unless by you doing, it's like, look, if we live in the same city, we could have date 2, date 3. You know what I'm saying? If you acknowledge that, hey, we vibing, cool, we vibe. But why? And this is just me. I can't speak for everybody else, because most dudes will take advantage of any situation, because as men, we're sexual opportunists because we have no control over that.
Yeah.
But if you're vibing and you're looking for a relationship, but if you have a sketchy past where you got a lot of bodies on your thing, don't make me wait 6 months because you think I'm a nice guy. Stay true to, keep your same energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but don't let it be because
don't be somebody you're not. Like if that's what you do, then do that.
And somebody was like, yeah, I made a lot of bad decisions in the past. And I said, well, don't wait till you get with me to sit down there and want to change up. I said, I'm not them.
Yeah.
Don't punish me because you chose the wrong folks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. You'll go ahead and go out to dinner with the cool dude, the dude that has the resources, the dude that treats you right. You'll make him wait.
Yeah.
But you'll get with the bum who don't have a job, who lives in his mom's
And go
basement.
sleep with him real quick.
Yeah, go sleep with him. You know what I'm saying? Get pregnant, and then you're looking for the good dude to sit down, cat place, put the cape on and save your ass.
Yeah.
Negative.
Yeah.
Negative.
It's also because, from whatever their past, they're not used to nice guys.
And that's the thing. A lot of times, men and women don't understand see, the thing is, love is not the sustainer of a relationship.
It definitely is not. That is something I really needed to learn hard, that love is not enough.
And what's funny is I used to a lot of women when I was growing up used to be offended. But I'm like, I don't think I'm falling in like with you, because to me, it's more important that I like you than I love you, because you need both of them in conjunction for relations to work. Because there are times where I just don't like you no more, but I love you. You know what I'm saying? Or I love you, I like you, but I love you enough to let you go.
Yeah.
You are too, you got way too much going on, and you're bringing turmoil into my life. And men have been rejected for years. We used to rejection, but sometimes our ego gets in the way.
Yeah.
And when women are so used to getting that attention and that validation, and they get rejected by somebody they really want, they can't take it.
No, not at all. They can't take it. I think they kind of start going crazy. They start going crazy of like, what is happening here? Like, they think that, possibly they can just lose their looks, their body parts, They're like, well, all these other guys will fall down for me. So what's happening over here? You don't want me? And their ego is so bruised.
Correct. And the thing is, like, Father Time is undefeated. You can't live off your looks forever.
No.
And the thing is like, you got a lot of women out there that want to do what men do, and you can't. You're not man. You're not built with man. There's different consequences. No. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't want to be. I can do those things. I do not want to be a man.
I used to think, I ain't gonna lie, I used to think I was a shit when I was 25. I was bodybuilding. I used to play college football. I thought I was the shit. I feel like I'm more the shit now at my age than I did then, because I was broke back then. I didn't have anything. You know what I'm saying? I had a job, not a career. I stayed in an apartment. I had a car, you know what I'm saying, that I pretty much couldn't afford. I was living check to check. But you couldn't tell me everything because I felt that I was attractive, that my physicals were on point. Now, I wasn't the tallest person in the world, but I made up for my deficiencies with my personality and other things. But as I got older, as I started making sound business decisions, I educated myself about myself, and I understand how to apply me in my life, live my life. And I found I was becoming more attractive by how I lived my life, opposed to what I was telling people I was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So as a male doesn't hit his financial peak till he gets over 45, 45 to 60, a man, because that's when his investment starts kicking in. That's when the residual starts coming together, and men start really living their best life after 40, 45. Whereas when men look at women for their beauty, and once a woman start hitting a certain age, men stop, like, look, you've been around a little bit. You got some shit with you. I don't necessarily want the drama, and you have a history.
Yeah.
I'm not one. I'm not right. Like, I'm not looking for no 25-year-old chick. I don't want that. I got a 22.
You're like, I don't need that drama anymore.
Right. And the thing is, like, being on your purpose. Like, I got a career and I got a business I'm trying to run, and I'm like a bullet train. Yeah. It doesn't make any stops. It runs express. So you have to either catch up and hop on and get on, because it's no different if it was somebody
get on
else.
And get off.
Right. Yeah. Because it's no different if I was, if I met somebody that was doing their thing. We'll have to meet speeds in order to be able to, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's just different perspectives, and unfortunately, women been lied to about what men want. Men have been lied to about what women want. We don't know what each other needs. When a woman is telling a man what men want, it makes no sense. And men can't tell a woman. You can't tell somebody who don't know.
You're not a woman. You didn't live that life. Like, you can't say it.
Correct. Like I told my daughter, I'm like, look, you need any dating advice about dudes, come to me.
Yeah.
Your mother's never been a man. You know what I'm saying? She never been a man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the truth.
And and my daughter called me every day. She's like, you were right. So I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I've been that dude. I can, and I'm a dude that hangs out with other dudes. I
Yeah.
hear what they say.
You
And
hear
I see
all of it. All the
correct.
barbershop comments.
Yep. And then I have no brothers. I have all sisters.
Oh my God. So you hear it all, you know it all.
I got the cheat codes.
You do. You should do a book, cheat sheets.
Thinking about it. I'm thinking about it.
Do you have a book?
No, I don't.
Are you thinking about writing a book?
I am. It's coming to me a few times. That's why I was quite surprised when it was brought up in Momentum.
Mm-hmm.
I've thought about it.
Yeah. What was his name? Leslie Butterfly Soul. Did he bring that out to you and ask you about a book? Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
He was amazing. Oh my God. He was spot on, just
very insightful.
Yeah, you're holding back. You're doing this. You need to do. I was just like, I just loving watching that. It was so awesome.
Yeah, he was on point. And like I saw when he said some stuff about me. I was like, damn, okay, that explains a lot.
Yeah. So do you think he broke down a little bit of your barrier?
He did, because I was so worried about everybody else.
Yeah.
Because even when I got separated, I was still wanting to make sure that my wife was taken care of, that she was straight. Yeah. Because I don't care what happened, at the time I cared, but I don't care what happened to get us to where we are.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you are my child's role model.
Yeah.
You are the platform to what she needs to see to be a woman. Mm-hmm. And I need to make sure you're straight, because at the end of the day, as we co-parent, you have to be straight. Yeah. Because you're no longer under my covering. We're not committed to each other anymore. So you have to do it yourself. This is the decision you wanted. Mm-hmm. So you have to be able to sustain. And the thing is like, a lot of times when we operate out of ego, we miss out on a lot. Yeah. And we need to figure it out. We got to stop blaming everybody else for things and accept responsibility for our contributions to the things. Exactly. And
honestly, you look a little lighter from Momentum.
Lighter? Oh, well, I'm not carrying everything that I was before.
Well, that's what I mean. Your energy and your face, like your aura, is lighter than when I saw you on Momentum.
Well, because I was able to get a lot off my chest, because, we've had I've had a conversation.
And Momentum?
Since Momentum. Yeah, and I was able to get a lot off my chest, a lot of stuff that she didn't know. Yeah. She did. And I expressed it. And she ate it up, understood. Yeah. Because she was actually the one that gifted me Momentum.
Oh my God, really?
Yep.
That is amazing. Because honestly, you look a lot lighter since Momentum.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. I love to chat with people and just feel their energy and everything. And from looking at you from Momentum to now, you look 1,000 times lighter.
Well, it's like, because I stopped using work to mask what I had going on. Mm-hmm. And, but it was like, hey, stop acting like you're too busy.
Yes. I mean, I loved it. And you were just like, wait, what? You're like, what do you mean? And then later on, it probably started sinking in later on, but you were just like, what the hell did this guy just say to me?
Yeah, pretty much I need to stop dating my work.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm so happy that technically your ex gifted you this and realized you needed it. That's awesome. Yep. So was she the one who wanted the divorce? Like what was what was one of the things that affected the relationship to break down?
Initially it was my job, because my availability, my daughter was young. Mm-hmm. And then I was going through stuff along with the job. Yeah. But understanding that, I tried to fix it. I'm solution based. Yeah. Saying, but if there's a problem, I'm fixing it. But when she had a problem, it was a bitch session. Mm-hmm. So she started, talking to me jacked up. Mm-hmm. And if I feel I have to check you every time you open your mouth, there's a problem. Mm-hmm. So, she fell out of love, didn't want to be in a relationship anymore, but she wanted to be friends. So I was like, okay. I fought for my family. I was like, look, let's go counseling. Let's do this. No, she didn't want to do it. I said,
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
So I was like, well, you can't have my non-sexual energy. You
Mhm.
can't expect husband duties and still, but you don't want me.
Mhm.
So you're not, I didn't want to sound narcissistic. I didn't want to be like, you're not, you need me, but you need me before I need you.
Yeah, like
But
you can't expect all the same husband,
right,
things anymore.
right. And I told her, I said, there's a lot of things I kept off your radar that, you wasn't privy to. So she said, I made her life too easy. I made her
Oh,
too
okay.
comfortable.
Okay.
You
Did
know,
she have her own career?
well, she used to work at a big corporation and quit that to start her own business.
Okay.
But she started a business off of one of my ideals.
Okay.
And she wanted me to do the legwork for her business. And I'm like, no,
This is your business.
right. You need to put your face out there.
Mhm.
And I told her, I said, hey, before you go full time with this, make
Mhm.
sure that the money you're making surpasses what you're making while you're working part time. Once you start getting your clients up and you're doubling what you're making part time, you can let that go,
Mhm.
quit it. And then I'm watching money,
Oh, the
input
window.
wasn't coming in. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not making it. And I'm like, why did I have to ask you where's our money?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot. So when I was like, because I kind of lost myself. I thought my duty was was to provide for the family, protect the family, and make sure the family's straight.
Yeah, like make sure you make enough money to just keep everything
Right.
afloat. Yeah.
But I got lost into pedestalizing my family and not
Yeah.
prioritizing myself and make
Mhm.
sure everybody was right. And I started to feel neglected. So
Yes.
when the suggestion for separation came about, I was like, cool. I need to refine me. Because remember, I just told you when I was 25, I thought I was that dude.
Yeah.
But I forgot who that dude was.
Yes. And that's what
Yeah.
happens to all of us, like we just lose ourselves like in trying to do the role that we thought that we're supposed to do.
Right. So, and I asked her, what we going to do before the decision came out. She was like, I don't know. I was like, well, if I'm not what you want, I don't want you to come back to me because your money running out and you don't want to do this. I said, if you're not invested, you know what I need, you know what I require. If it's not in you to do, just
Yeah.
end it.
Mhm.
And I was like, because at the end of the day, we was together for 12 years, married for 10. And I was like, what value would you be bringing to my life that you didn't bring before?
Mhm.
And she was like, is that a question? I said, no, it's rhetorical because I'm not in position to hear you say, I don't know.
Mhm.
Because I already know the answer. You
Mhm.
don't know because you don't know. If you knew, you'd be able to say, this is what I could bring to your life that I didn't do before.
And she
But
didn't know.
the fact that you didn't know means that it's not in you to do.
Yeah.
And you need to, before you get into any new relationship, you need to figure out what you could bring to another man's life
Yeah. Is
because
that
you
a
have
recent
to.
conversation or before?
This is recent.
Oh, she
Yeah.
didn't know?
Didn't know.
Oh, so she's got work to do.
Correct.
And did she do momentum?
Yes. She's going into the leadership.
Oh, so you just stumped her on the question.
See, the thing is, one thing I learned about momentum is you get out what you put in.
Yeah, totally.
You can hear everybody's story. You can talk about what you got going on,
Mhm.
but a lot of times folks are not going to put 100% into the program because there are things that she needed to hear herself say, but there's a lot of stuff she needs to say, and there's a lot of people she needs to say it to that she's not ready to say it to them.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you're taking steps forward, but you haven't fully taken that leap yet.
Yes.
Whereas I've taken that leap where I've spoken to my mother and my father because the hardest thing in momentum to do was to write that letter, from my
Oh
parents.
my God, that letter, like I was telling somebody, because I know a bunch of people who did it and they were surprised. They always suggested to do the in person. And I was like, it's like I just feel like I need to do virtual, right? And I'm so glad I did virtual because
Mhm.
all of those, you know, sessions and exercises we did and writing that letter, I was just bawling and bawling and bawling. And I'm like, thank God I'm home. Thank God I can turn off my video for a second, collect myself, go cry, write the letters. But thank God I was home doing that.
Well, I'm glad I'm doing the advanced So I already paid for the advance.
Are you doing the February virtual events?
Yes, I'm doing the February virtual.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that I didn't want to stop going in just to finish it, do the advance, and then
Yeah.
continue, because momentum didn't knock down all my walls, but it knocked out
Oh, yeah.
enough in front of my eyes for
Yeah.
me to be able to see what's going on. Now it's time to do the advance and knock down the rest of the walls so the rest of my body can follow my eyes.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. And I originally signed up and purchased for the advance for February, but then like I just found out one of my friends having a 50th birthday party that weekend. So I'm like, I don't want to miss one of the days. So now I'm thinking like now I might have to just wait for the next one because I can't miss a day, I feel like. And I think it's the third day. So I'm like, no, I don't think I can miss one of the days.
See, and it was crazy. Like I had forgotten that there's a bourbon barbecue fest down here in Atlanta.
Is it on that same weekend?
Is that same weekend? It's that Sunday.
Oh, okay. My event's on a Saturday. So now I'm like, I think I might have to hold off on the advance out because I want to do all the days.
Right. So because from what I was told, it was transferable. You can actually
Yeah.
change dates.
Yeah.
So I may end up doing, and it's crazy just to, push the dates back just because of a
Barbecue.
barbecue.
I mean, I know how barbecue is very important to people, so I totally
Yeah.
understand. And this is like my friend's 50th, so I'm like, I can't not go to this 50th birthday party. So
See, and my boy, one of my boys I'm going with, he was pretty much my rock. You know what I'm saying? Throughout everything I was going through. So, and we haven't hung out in a minute. So it was one of those times that this was planned that we were going to chill.
yeah. So you're gonna have to change your date too.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it comes down what I'm telling what it comes down to. I'm big on fostering relationships.
Of course, these days it's all about connections and friendships to me.
Correct. And it's like, because like back we were saying, because even, in order for you to find somebody, you have to put yourself out there. So I go to, I'm a member of a big time cigar lounge here in Atlanta. And there's a cigar lounge up the street from my house. So I'll go and just sit there by myself and I people watch, and, you meet folks who, I've met women with 6 kids wanting me to pay their bills. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
yeah, I know. I'm just imagining you sitting there. I'm like, women are just gonna come there just to try to find somebody that they know has money.
And I should say, right now I'm on my purpose. I'm trying to build my stuff, and I am open and available to entertaining, but I am not out there seeking. I'm not thirsty. I'm not in the desert sitting up there like, and it's like I have my priorities straight, and you want to go out for eat? Cool. And I got friends out there like, hey, you hungry? Let's go. Cool. But to feel somebody's attention, because a lot of times you'll call somebody or you want somebody to call you just to get the attention. And a lot of women, it's like fuel in their tank is the attention.
Yes.
Know.
Because they're not happy themselves. So they're seeking outward for their attention. And and when they don't get it or their ego's bruised, they get all heated up and upset and start, fighting people.
And I think a lot of times where you think that, because you're sitting on a gold mine, or once you bust it wide open, guys are going to be like, yeah, like,
oh, yeah, the pussy gold mine.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
no, that's not going to sustain you. That is not going to keep the man.
And the thing is, if you expect somebody to excavate your cave on a daily basis, you better make sure that, they got the hard hat and they punch in their clock every day and put in the time. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're going to do that, you want it to be worth it.
Yeah.
And like, it was funny. Somebody asked me a long time ago, like, why'd you I'm like, you was just living a life. Why'd you get married? And I said, well, sex wasn't enough. I said, it was coming too easy, too frequent. And I got tired of meeting women that was always hungry and horny and had nothing else. Nothing else to bring.
Oh my God, I love that. Yeah.
They want to eat and they want to smash. They want to eat and smash. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Didn't care if I took them out.
Yeah. You're like, can we have an intellectual conversation here? Like, can we have a drink and talk?
had no input.
Yeah.
You know, and like when I remember one time I was out with my friends and I ran to this young lady I used to deal with, and they was like, "Yo, you used to mess with her?
Deal
Yo, I
with.
didn't even know." Yeah, deal with,
Deal with.
not deal with, deal with.
Deal with.
And it's like, "Yo, that was you?" I'm like, yeah. Yo, I ain't never meet her. I said, "Cause she had nothing to offer to the group."
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, if I
Just
remember
dealing.
right, it wasn't even a situationship. It was just like,
Yeah, I understand. Just yeah,
right.
I understand.
So you know, so when you deal with that, you like, even as men, we have to understand our value.
Yeah.
You know, it's an even exchange. You know, like there's two things. You're sitting up there giving up yourself to somebody that don't appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And what I find out is actually women want you more when you don't pay them any attention.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to do it understanding your value, not playing a game. It's like, I'm gonna do this because I know she want me. So no, understand your value and have your boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know you're going to get shamed. What are you, gay? Look at me. Doesn't, like, no, I understand my value. I understand what I bring.
Yeah.
Why would I put myself in a situation where you're now a leech?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're leeching off my energy. You're leeching off me, but you are not bringing any true value to who I am as a person. You're not making me better.
Yeah.
I'm making you better.
Yeah, like what are you bringing to the table?
Right. You know, and because I know you have, let me explain to some folks, you know, you listen to what bringing to the table means. And
Yeah, I want to wrap this up soon. So give me your like last couple tips and tricks for people.
For women, if you want, first of all, if you're looking for a man, if you really want a man and you want that security, you have to understand character is important.
Mm.
What men are looking for when they ask you what you're bringing to the table, the value is, are you cooperative? Are you feminine?
Mm-hmm.
You know, some men want submissives. No, I want you to be in your feminine nature.
Mm-hmm.
Be yourself. Be able to be transparent and not be afraid to tell me what's going on with you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? My job is not only to provide and pay bills and buy you stuff. You know what I'm saying? My job is to be able to educate you, protect you, inform you what's going on, teach you priority, protect you from yourself. Not allowing you to be influenced by your friends who've never had a relationship, don't know how to sustain one, but they're giving you dating advice.
Mm-hmm.
Single people keep people single.
Yeah.
Remember that. And a lot of times your friends are jealous when you're in a relationship. So watch what you say.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful with how much information you give outside folks about what's going on inside your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Hold that close to the breast, because you are in a better situation. I said, hold that close to the breast.
Mm-hmm.
Because you want to secure and protect your relationship, because you're thinking about your future.
Yeah.
And if you find somebody that's willing to not even take care of you financially, but spiritually and emotionally,
yep,
you don't need to lose that for somebody that really doesn't have your best interest at heart.
Exactly. That was amazing. This was a beautiful, insightful, interesting conversation. And I feel like we're going to have to, do another part 2 or part 3 of these conversations.
Sure.
It's going to be super helpful to people of all your wealth of knowledge and experience in life.
Definitely.
So I appreciate it. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
You too as well.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There's so many people that, you know how people say lost in translation?
Yes.
I think there are people who are lost in transformation.
Yes, everybody.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I think people get stuck, in the transformation process.
Yeah. Because you're in shit.
Oh my God, it's so messy. And you're like, we just lose our crap because it's almost like, this can't happen to me. This shouldn't be happening to me. Why me? Why me? Why me?
Yeah.
And then we start throwing tantrums inside of the transformation, right?
Yes.
Because we don't want it. And so this, it's about this divine chaos that I've always talk about.
Yes.
Right? And I just want to put, that's my term, copywritten it all.
I love it.
Divine chaos.
You know,
right?
one of my art shows was Controlled Chaos.
Really?
Yes. I did a series 1, 2, and 3 of Controlled Chaos art shows.
That is
Well, we always have like synchronicity. So I had to stop you there for a second. I'm like, I love that, right? Because I did a version of it too, because I love the contradiction of things, like
Yes.
like the beautiful oblivion, controlled chaos, like beautiful mess, like all of it.
Because it's all, it's real. Oh God, I love this. It's really all about our perception of